So picture this. You're 34, maybe 36. You've got a job that pays reasonably well, not quit and retire tomorrow money, but like real money. More than you ever made in your 20s, definitely. And yet, somehow at the end of every month, you look at your bank account and feel this low-grade anxiety you can't quite explain. You're not broke, you're not drowning, but you're also not building anything. It just kind of disappears. And the terrifying part isn't that you're spending recklessly. You're not even doing anything obviously wrong. You're just doing what everyone around you seems to be doing. Keeping up. Living your life. And quietly. Falling behind. I've been thinking about this specific feeling for years now. My name is Alex, and honestly, I spend probably too much time obsessing over money. Not in a spreadsheet and cufflinks kind of way, but more like, why do smart, hardworking people keep making the same financial mistakes decade after decade? What's the psychology behind it? What are the invisible patterns? Because the 30-something money trap isn't about ignorance. You know what a 401k is. You've heard of index funds. This is something subtler and, honestly, a little more uncomfortable to talk about. What I want to do today is walk through 7 specific mistakes that tend to quietly derail people in their 30s. And more importantly, I want to explain why they happen, not just what they are. Because knowing the mistake isn't enough. Understanding why you keep making it, that's where things actually start to shift. The first one is lifestyle inflation, and I know, you've heard this before. But stick with me, because the version people talk about is usually too obvious. Don't buy a Porsche when you get a raise. Sure, great advice. Nobody needed a YouTube video for that. The sneaky version is quieter. It's the streaming subscriptions that multiplied from 2 to 7. It's the grocery store you switched to because it's nicer. It's the fact that you now consider a $17 cocktail normal. None of these things feel like decisions, because they weren't. Not really. They were just gradual adjustments to what felt reasonable as your income crept up. And that's exactly what makes it dangerous. Here's the simple breakdown. Your expenses should not automatically grow every time your income grows. A percentage. Should. A fixed percentage, ideally something you've decided on. But the default, if you don't intervene, is that all of it grows. And then you wake up at 38, making twice what you made at 28, and saving roughly the same amount, which is close to nothing. The fix isn't deprivation, it's just intentionality. Every time your income increases, decide in advance. What percentage goes to lifestyle and what percentage goes to wealth? Don't let it just happen. This one is emotionally tricky to talk about, so I'll just say it plainly. A lot of people treat their 30s like the decade before the decade when they'll get serious about money. Like there's some future, more, responsible version of themselves who will sort all this out. Maybe when the kids are older, maybe when the mortgage is paid down a bit, maybe after this next promotion. Compound interest doesn't care about your timeline. Time is literally the most powerful variable in the equation, and your 30s are not a warm-up. They are the game. The money you invest at 32 is worth dramatically more than the money you invest at 42. Not a little more. A lot more. Like the difference between a comfortable retirement and a stressful one? More. There's a version of this mistake. That's about procrastination? Sure. But there's also a version that's about misplaced priority. People spend enormous energy optimizing things that don't move the needle. Researching which credit card has the best points, refinancing for a marginally lower rate, while the bigger lever, just investing consistently and early, gets pushed to next quarter. Nobody likes talking about insurance. It's boring, it's confusing, and paying for something you hope to never use feels borderline irrational. I get it. But your 30s are often when real financial vulnerability peaks. Mortgage, young kids, a partner who depends on your income, maybe aging parents entering the picture. And a single uninsured health event or disability can undo years of careful saving. The specific gap I see most often? Disability insurance. People have life insurance, usually through work, but almost nobody has adequate disability coverage. And statistically, you are far more likely to become temporarily or permanently disabled than to die during your working years. Think about that for a second. This isn't exciting advice, but the absence of a boring insurance conversation has derailed more financial plans than bad stock picks ever have. Your 30s are, socially, an expensive decade. Weddings, destination bachelorette parties, kids' birthday parties that have apparently become full productions, housewarming gifts, baby showers, and the slow, creeping pressure to match the lifestyle of whoever is currently setting the pace in your friend group. Here's the thing, though. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. The couple with the renovated kitchen and the annual ski trip might be carrying $40,000 in credit card debt. I'm not saying they are. But you genuinely don't know. And yet we constantly benchmark ourselves against these external signals and quietly adjust our own spending to keep up with an image that might be entirely borrowed. The actionable piece here is simple but requires some social courage. It's okay to say that doesn't fit my budget right now. It's okay to suggest cheaper alternatives. The people who will judge you for that probably aren't as financially solid as they appear anyway. Okay, this one is a bit more mechanical, but stay with me because it matters more than people realize. Your 30s are often a prime window for tax-advantaged investing, maxing your 401k, opening a Roth IRA if you're still within the income limits, using an HSA if you have a high-deductible health plan. These are not complicated. They're just boring enough that people set them up once and never revisit them. The specific mistake? Leaving pre-tax contribution room on the table because you need that $300 a month, when the tax savings plus employer match might mean you're essentially getting $500 in retirement contributions for that $300 out of pocket. The math on this is genuinely good. It's one of the few places where the financial system is arguably tilted in your favor. This one might sting a little. Most people in their 30s don't have a plan. They have intentions. I should save more. I want to invest in real estate eventually. We're going to start a college fund when things calm down. These aren't plans. These are vibes. A plan has numbers. It has a timeline. It has a specific account and a specific amount and a specific date. It doesn't have to be complicated. Honestly, a one-page document you revisit annually is infinitely better than a sophisticated mental framework you've never written down. Mistake number 7, optimizing for now instead of for optionality. The last one is the most philosophical, so I'll keep it brief. A lot of financial decisions in your 30s are made to maximize comfort right now. The bigger house in the better neighborhood, the car that makes the commute nicer, the private school that starts eating into everything. And none of these are inherently wrong choices. But optionality, the ability to change your mind, quit a job you hate, take a risk, weather an unexpected crisis. Optionality costs money to build, and almost nobody explicitly budgets for it. Your 30s are the decade to build that cushion, because your 40s and 50s will present opportunities and crises you genuinely cannot predict, and you'll want choices. Look, none of this is about being perfect with money. It's not about deprivation or spreadsheets or becoming the kind of person who lectures their friends at dinner. It's about something simpler. Just making deliberate choices instead of defaulting to patterns you've never examined. Your 30s are not a financial warm-up. They are not the decade before the important decade. They are it. And the gap between where most people end up financially and where they could have ended up isn't usually about income. It's about these quiet, mostly invisible patterns that compound over time, in exactly the same way that good decisions compound. You don't have to fix all 7 of these today. Pick one, the smallest, most manageable one, and do something concrete about it this week. That's how this actually changes. Not with a resolution, but with one small specific thing that you actually do. That's it. That's the whole idea. You've got this.